The Pont du Gard by Hubert Robert. Welcome back. Today we're looking at one of the most atmospheric paintings of the 18th century, the Pont du Gard, painted in 1786 by the French master Hubert Robert. It currently hangs in the Louvre in Paris, and the more time you spend with it, the more it gives back. Let's start with the man behind the canvas. Hubert Robert was born in Paris in 1733 and spent 11 formative years in Rome, from 1754 to 1765. That time in Italy was everything. He absorbed the ancient ruins around him, the Colosseum, the temples, the overgrown forums, and became almost obsessed with the idea of monumental architecture slowly being reclaimed by nature and time. His Italian contemporaries nicknamed him Robert de Ruines, Robert of the Ruins, and that nickname followed him for the rest of his life. He became the defining painter of what we now call the ruin aesthetic, or the capriccio tradition, imagined or romanticized scenes of ancient architecture in varying states of decay. He was prolific, celebrated, and appointed as the first curator of the Louvre's paintings collections. Remarkably, he even survived the French Revolution and the Reign of Terror, though he spent a year imprisoned. He died in 1808, leaving behind hundreds of paintings that defined an era's relationship with antiquity. Now, the painting itself. What you are looking at is the Pont du Gard, a real Roman aqueduct bridge in southern France, built in the 1st century AD to carry water to the city of Nîmes. It is nearly 50 meters tall, over 250 meters long, and constructed entirely without mortar, just precisely cut limestone blocks locked together by their own weight. It is, by almost any measure, one of the greatest surviving feats of Roman engineering. But Robert is not painting an archaeological document. He is painting a feeling. The composition is monumental and slightly tilted, as if the bridge is too large to be contained by the frame. 3 tiers of arches stack upward, the bottom tier wide and heavy, the middle tier rhythmic and graceful, and the top tier smaller, more delicate, carrying the water channel itself. Robert renders the stonework in warm ochres and burnt siennas, the texture of the masonry rough and ancient, the arches casting deep pools of shadow. The structure seems to glow from within, lit by the dying light of a dramatic sunset sky. And that sky, look at it, stormy purples and bruised grays on the left, breaking open into a blazing copper and gold on the right. It is theatrical, almost operatic. This is not accidental. Robert uses the contrast of the turbulent heavens against the enduring stonework to make a philosophical point. Nature is volatile, fleeting, emotional, but human achievement, at its greatest, outlasts all of it. In the foreground, small figures cluster along the banks of the Garden River. A group of women gather by the water's edge, conversing, drawing water, going about the rhythms of ordinary life. On the left, more figures rest and watch. A small boat drifts through the middle distance. These people are tiny against the structure behind them, deliberately so. Robert consistently used human scale to dramatize the sublime enormity of ancient ruins. We are reminded that we are brief visitors in a landscape shaped by civilizations long gone. The composition pulls your eye in a diagonal sweep, from the lower left foreground figures, across the river's reflection, up through the arches, and into the burning sky at the upper right. It is a journey from the intimate to the infinite, from the human to the eternal. There is also something quietly melancholic here. By 1786, the Roman Empire had been dust for over 1,000 years. Yet this structure still stands, still crosses the river, still commands the landscape. Robert seems moved by that fact, not with despair, but with a kind of reverent wonder. This is a meditation on legacy, on what endures, on the humbling passage of time. This sensibility was perfectly tuned to its moment. The late 18th century was saturated with neoclassicism, a cultural longing for the clarity and grandeur of the ancient world, amplified by the recent discoveries at Pompeii and Herculaneum. Educated Europeans were fascinated by ruins. They read about them, traveled to see them, and commissioned paintings of them for their walls. Robert gave them exactly what they desired, but elevated it into something genuinely moving. What makes this painting exceptional, beyond its technical polish, is its emotional intelligence. Robert understands that the most powerful way to evoke the ancient world is not through precision or documentation, but through atmosphere and feeling. You do not just see the Pont du Gard here. You feel the weight of centuries pressing down through those stones. You feel the smallness of your own moment in time. If you ever find yourself in Paris, go to room 74 of the Richelieu wing at the Louvre. Stand in front of this canvas. It is large, nearly 2.5 meters wide, and in person, the scale works on you in a way no reproduction quite captures. Hubert Robert spent his life asking one quiet question. What does it mean to stand before something that was built 2,000 years ago and is still standing? This painting is his most beautiful answer. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this analysis, subscribe for more, and leave a comment telling us which painting you'd like to explore next.